Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. In this video, I'd like to share with you 3 things to help you to pass your driving test. There are many things why you could fail the driving test, but these are the 3 things which is nothing to do with your driving. It's not something you learn. It's not something you are taught by your driving instructor or your family members. It's something you need to learn, which you need to be ready, be prepared for those 3 things. And these are the things I like to share with you in this video. Let's start the lesson. Okay, so when it comes to driving test, many, they don't just fail because they can't drive. The reason you're going to the test is because you know how to drive the car. So we know that you are going to the test is because you know how to drive the car. So it's not that you're going to fail because you can't drive. We know you can't drive. That's the reason why you're going to the test. So what can be the problem? What can be the distraction, the obstacle that could stop you passing, that could distract you from passing? What could be the reasons of you failing your driving test on the day? And I chose these 3 which I'm sharing in this video is because these 3 things are not taught by your driving instructors. You just have to learn them, you just have to know them, you just have to prepare yourself, be ready on the day with those 3 things. Number 1, many, they feel scared, they feel intimidated by the examiner, and they fail the driving test because of that. They feel under pressure, they feel scared, they feel terrified soon as they go into a car and there's the examiner sitting next to them. They are too scared. Somebody's watching them, somebody is going to be testing them, and they feel scared. And this is something you don't learn in a lesson. It's not something you are prepared. It's not something your driving instructor teaches you how you should feel not to be scared. It's something you just have to learn, something you just have to have a thick skin and know that the only way I'm going to pass is by having a examiner next to me. I need to be ready. I need to know that this person sitting next to me is doing a job. And I have a job to do, which is to drive. If I drive safely without giving the person any problem on the road, they should give me the license. And they will give me the license. So the question is, can I talk to the examiner? Can I start a conversation with the examiner? Yes, you can. And they might say, please don't talk, just drive, concentrate on your driving. They might say that. The reason sometimes they say that, maybe because they feel that if they talk to you and if you fail, you might go and complain saying that you failed because they distracted you by talking. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they don't talk. So if you talk to them and if they say, please concentrate on driving, and they have a face which is not a smiley face, you might feel scared. You might feel intimidated. And that's part of the journey. That's part of the test. You just have to have the thick skin. You just have to know that they could talk, they might talk, they might not. It doesn't matter. They are not here to fail me without giving me a reason. I have to give them a reason for them to fail me. I'll have to do something wrong for them to fail me. So if I do my job right, and if I don't give them a reason for them to fail me, then they shouldn't fail me. They won't fail me. So my job is to drive what I've learned from my driving instructor, from my family members, from my friends. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep on going. Doesn't matter who's sitting next to me. Just ignore them. And when I say ignore, meaning in a good way, examiners are not bad people. They're not your enemy, okay? Don't treat them like as if they're your enemy. They are doing a job. Imagine they give you the license anyway, even though you're not safe on the road. Imagine what could happen. Do you want that? Do you want the examiner to give you a license even though you are dangerous on the road? And then after you pass, what's going to happen? So the examiner has a job. They have a role to do. They need to ask the question, the person who's driving, are they safe on the road? If the answer is no, they shouldn't give you a license because that is not their job. Their job is to make sure you convince them that you are safe on the road. And if you are safe in that 40 minutes without giving them a serious fault or danger fault or no more than 15 driving faults, they will give you a license. Okay? So the examiner has a job. Don't think they're your enemy and don't feel intimidated. Don't feel scared when you see an examiner in the car, okay? Because that's the only way you're going to pass. You can't have a car without anyone sitting next to you. You're going to have the examiner sitting next to you. So that's the only way you're going to pass. And I want you to just be ready for that. Have the thick skin and mentally just ignore them. Just drive what you know and you will pass your test. So that's number one. Number two is when you do something wrong. The whole 40 minutes is not going to go the way you want. There will be some situations where you're not going to be happy with. Maybe you done something. You are too close to the pavement. Maybe you finished the bay parking and maybe you're on the line and you corrected. So when you are driving, you're not going to be happy with your full 40 minutes driving. There will be some situations where mentally you're not going to be happy. Because of that, do you think you should give up? Because many, they fail the test for that. This is nothing to do with your driving. It's nothing to do with the driving instructor teaching you. It's something in your belief. It's something out of your emotion. If you just give up, what's going to happen? You will fail. And why did you fail? It's because you gave up. And at the end, you might see you didn't fail for that. Maybe you failed for something after. And by then, maybe you gave up. And that's why you failed. So the whole 40 minutes is not going to go according to the way you want. You're not going to be happy with your full 40 minutes of driving. There's always going to be a situation where you're not going to be happy with. It doesn't matter how much training you've done, how good instructor you had and taught you really well, how many videos you've watched. It doesn't matter. The matter is, if something goes wrong, you don't give up. Your job is not to give up, because if you do, you might fail for something after you give up. Okay? So if things doesn't go your way, your job is to drive, and at the end, if you fail, you fail. You're going to come back and do the test again. That kind of mentality you need for you to pass when something goes wrong. Because if something goes wrong, you've paid for 40 minutes of your test. Give the 40 minutes, and at the end, let the examiner decide. Also, what is your job? Are you the examiner, or are you the person who's doing the driving to do the test? Your job is not to be the examiner, is it? Your job is not to take the responsibility of the exam. That's their job. How do you know what they're thinking? How do you know if this what you've just done is fail or not? How do you know? The examiner has a role, and their role is to test you, right? Your job is to drive. So why are you judging? Why are you becoming the examiner and making the decision that, well, I failed for the thing that I've just done and I'm just going to give up? That's not your job, is it? Your job is to drive, and at the end, let the examiner decide. That's their job. You don't know what you've just done, if that's fail or not. You don't know that. You just give 40 minutes, and at the end, you'll see. Whatever happens, you'll accept. That kind of mentality will help you if something goes wrong. Remember, like I said, this is something is not taught by your driving instructor. They're not going to teach you that. It's something you just have to have the belief that when I go, if something goes wrong, I'm never going to give up. I'm going to keep going. Unless you do something really silly and the examiner stops the test, that's a different matter. What I'm saying is you shouldn't make the judgment on your driving. Your driving, the judgment will be made by the examiner. You just keep on doing, and at the end, you will see whether you pass or you fail. You will pass by not giving up. You will fail by giving up. So make sure you don't give up. If you are learning and you need help on learning and passing the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course. The course gives everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. It has everything a learner needs. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read, and if you like it, you could always join the course. And third and the last, which is nervousness, anxiety. Many, they fail because, not because they can't drive, is because they can't control their nervousness, the anxiety, the emotion on the day. They can't sleep the night before. On the day, they're tired, they're stressed, they're nervous, the anxiety kicks in, all those things, and they fail. So many, they fail for anxiety and the nervousness, nothing to do with the driving, is it? If you can't control that, you can't pass the test. You have to make sure, you have to learn to control your nerves. You have to learn to control your anxiety, your emotion. So first of all, let's talk about why are you nervous? Remember, if you can't control your nerve, most likely you probably will fail because on the day your mind is going to go blank. Your normal driving the way you normally do, you're not going to drive like that. You're going to do many silly mistakes. Why? Because your nervousness is kicking in. You are feeling anxious, everything feeling really tight, everything feeling really dark. Is because your mental is not stable. So let's talk about why are you nervous? What is the main reason you're being nervous? Why are you scared? What are you most scared of? So what is the worst thing could happen on the day? What could happen? Tell me. You go to the test, what is the worst thing could happen? The worst thing could happen is you fail your driving test. That's the worst thing. So you fail. So what? So what? You failed. If you fail, what does that mean? It means it just delayed for you to get a license. Nothing gonna change. The world is not gonna change. You're still gonna go home and your life is gonna go on as normal. You're still gonna wake up the next day and do what you normally do. You go to work, you go to college, you go to university, you're gonna do exactly the same what you've been doing. Nothing gonna change. If you fail, it just means it's delayed for you to get a license. It's not like the world is gonna finish. So if that's the worst thing could happen, what are you scared of? Is there a crime for you to fail? Is there a crime? Are you gonna go behind bars? Why are you nervous? You see, unless you control your nervousness, unless you see the worst thing could happen, you're not going to balance it. You need to balance on the day. Little nervous is good, it makes you think. But if you overdo it, you will fail. And the reason is because you are going to the test thinking, I have to pass. If I don't pass, the world is going to finish. It's a crime if I don't pass. You see, if you think like that, what's going to happen? You are putting too much pressure to your mind and you will fail. It's like holding I've said this and I've said this before, and I'll tell you again. It's like holding a glass too tight. If you hold a glass too tight, what's going to happen? It's going to crack, right? If you hold it too loose, what's going to happen? It's going to fall. You need to hold the middle. You need to hold it enough, not too tight, not too loose. You need to find the middle path. Too extreme in either way, too loose or too tight, you will fail. You need to be in the middle path. Go to the test. It's your test. In the end, it's my test. I'm just going to go and give my best. Give 100% what I know. I know how to drive the car. My instructor said I'm ready, which means I should be confident. He or she is not going to give their car and their key to my hand, go and do the test. They're not going to risk that, are they? So you know they said you're ready, which means you are ready. That should give you some confidence, number one. Number two, you know you could drive the car. If you don't go to the test. If you don't believe that you can't drive, why are you going to the test? You shouldn't. Because imagine you pass and next day you crash your car. Do you want to do that? No. So you're not going to go to the test unless you feel you're ready. You're not going to go to the test unless your instructor said you're ready. So you know you're ready. Your instructor said you're ready. Why are you nervous? Why are you nervous? You see, if you don't believe yourself, who's going to believe? For you to make your driving believable, you need to believe first that I can drive. I believe in myself and I'm going to go and show the examiner that I can't drive. If you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe you. You won't be able to show the examiner a believable drive. For you to do extraordinary on the day, for you to drive exceptionally well, you need to be clean in your head. The nervousness, the anxiety will kill that. Okay? So think the worst thing could happen. The worst thing is you're going to fail. If you fail, you fail. That kind of mentality will help you to pass. It's going to take away the pressure from your mind. Your anxiety, your nervousness is just going to go. It's not going to disappear 100%. Little nervous is good, like I said, it's going to make you think. But you don't want to push too hard and your brain goes blank. Because one of the things will make your mind go blank, will make you do silly mistakes, is the nervousness. If you overdo it, if you go too extreme, you couldn't sleep the night before, you feel sick, feel vomit the day before, or on the day of your test, you don't feel well, you might as well not do the test. because you feel sick. You see, you want to think that if I fail, I fail. Not a problem. It's my test. I'm gonna go and give 100%, and if I fail, I fail. That kind of mentality will help you take away the pressure of your head. You're not gonna feel that nervous. You're not gonna feel the anxiety. Okay? So I hope this video helps. Like I said, these three, your instructor is not gonna teach you. It's something you need to be prepared. You need to be ready on the day. And if you could be ready with those three, I am sure you will pass your test flying colors. If you need extra help on learning to drive and to pass the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course, which gives everything a learner needs. The course has everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. It has more than 30 videos in the course. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read. If you like it, you could always join the course. I truly wish you all the best with your driving test, and I hope you pass. I hope this video helps. If it does, please do give a thumbs up. Please do make a comment what you think of the video, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so don't miss any of my future videos, and hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.